Hi, I'm IKEA, and I'm going to give you a build overview of a high-end pistols headhunter. And layout-wise, that looks like this, with a punch trunk, a chain killer, a Dodge City Gunslinger holster, and then on the right side here, we have 3 pieces of Imminence armaments. This new brand set of this season comes with, on the 3-piece, 60 pistol damage, which makes quite a big difference to this build. Talent-wise, of course, we have Vigilance on the backpack, and then this being a headhunting build, Headhunter on the chest. And then weapons-wise, especially the Regulus and the Harvest are, of course, the top picks. If you do not have a Harvest or Regulus, a 5.86 or a 6.86 can do, but it doesn't hit as hard as these. And on its build picture, which I'll link in the description and in the comments, we see that it is all headshots and weapon handlings. That is just to bump up our damage as much as we can. All of the mods being also headshot, together with all of it being red cord. That way we can actually very easily start on a red with both the Regulus and the Harvest, as we see from its damage numbers. But especially what Imminence Armaments has brought us is if we keep the chain killer, then on the second shot with the Harvest, even at grade 15, we can actually have the second shot be an elite, which is a pretty big upgrade to this build. And of course, the cap has also been raised quite a bit. And then skills-wise, yeah, we're going to go with a Revive Hive because, yeah, sometimes we do get down. And then, of course, the Bulwark Shield is a pretty good tool. Even at 0 tiers, it is pretty chunky and will take the enemies a few seconds, and that will buy you enough time to get started. Then, specialization-wise, either Firewall or Sharpshooter. Firewall for the shield, or Sharpshooter just in general, because the extra stability, of course, and also the TAC 50 by itself is a pretty good tool to start things off with. Another good tool to start things off with, and one of the things I like about the high-end version, is to have that Dodge City holster in there. That's why I will keep that in there. You can go without. If you want to, for instance, go Memento, you basically swap the Imminence Armaments piece to the holster slot and then put in a Memento that way. If you want just more damage, you could put in a Fox's Prayer and move the Imminence Armaments piece over to the holster slot. And with that, you also have some ways of customizing it to fit your playstyle. The coming in of Imminence Armaments has made this build quite a bit stronger than the older version with the Gift, Contractors, and Fox, and that has upgraded this build quite a bit. So it is well worth upgrading to these pieces if you have the older version. And especially what this has against its counterpart, of course, in Headhunter's Fury, is that while Headhunter's Fury has armor and kill and the Disorient, this doesn't need to be within the 50 meters, and this also much more cleanly fits in the Dodge City holster, making for a really powerful first shot. And with either a Regulus or a Harvest, you can have a really powerful tool to deal with 5 directives especially, which is what this build is really made for.